Everybody, tonight we had our weekly Facebook forum where our members asked questions on our Training Lab Facebook group, and there were some really good questions that were asked, a lot of them around energy and energy utilisation and fuel for endurance events. So we're lucky to have long-term foot traffic coach Anna Lorimer with us here, and this is Anna's area of expertise. So Anna, on your topic of your choice, I will give you 5 minutes to talk about energy availability and fuel for endurance athletes. Go.
Okay, so many of the questions were around things like race weight and percentage body fat. So one of the things I kind of like to go with is actually not giving you a number to work towards. Having a number that you're trying to get down to or trying to maintain tends to get you focusing on the wrong thing, whereas there's plenty of other numbers for you to focus on, such as your power and your pace and your heart rate. Focus on those numbers rather than on things like race weight. What we do find, particularly with the endurance events, is that most of our athletes will lean up in the week, in the month or the 2 months leading into a race, because we're just doing such big, hard sessions, and it's really hard to get in enough carbohydrates during those sessions, and so your body's forced to burn fat. So you do find that most athletes will lean up in those few months leading into a race.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What happens if you get athletes who look like they're losing too much weight from that natural weight loss?
Then that's a question that we need to start looking at their fueling and what they're doing in terms of their recovery nutrition. So one of the things that I've just been teaching a course on actually is injury prevention, and there was a section on nutrition, because we've actually found that if you are not supplying your body with enough nutrition to meet the needs of your exercise as well as the needs of your body just to maintain itself, then you end up in this injury cycle. So a lot of athletes, if they get down too low or try to maintain that really low race weight for too long, they'll find that they're getting overuse injuries. Generally,
Stress fractures and
fractures, even muscle pulls, because your muscles aren't working properly either. So there's a little equation which I actually do with quite a lot of athletes if I'm working with them one-on-one or if I'm working with them in a group, and you can kind of get an estimate of what your energy availability is. And your energy availability is basically the amount of energy left over from what you've eaten on a day-to-day basis after you take away the energy you've burnt when you're exercising. And if that amount of energy that's left over isn't enough to maintain your body's natural processes, then you'll start shutting down some of those natural processes in an attempt to save energy, because your body is naturally organised to try and keep you alive. And if you're using too much energy, then it will shut down non-essential organs, basically. So it tends to stop producing bone, which is where your stress fractures come in. It tends to stop supporting muscle, because muscle is a really high energy tissue for us to maintain, and so you'll start to lose muscle. So actually chasing a race weight or trying to maintain a race weight for a long time can actually result in you losing muscle and then resulting in a decrease in performance. We also see a lot of gastro problems start to crop up if you're not fueling properly, because again, you don't need your intestines so much just to keep you alive, and so they tend to shut down and not work so well as well. So you get all of these little changes that might start happening, but they do ultimately affect your performance. And the other big issue that it does is it affects your hormones, and your hormones kind of make everything work. So if your hormones start shutting down, and if you're not getting enough fat, then your hormones will also shut down. And so then basically every single organ in your body gets affected, and we need them all to be able to perform at our top.
So you can understand if you're training hard and getting a little bit moody and tired, that it's not just because the training load, it's also a lot of things happening in nutrition affecting your hormone balance.
Yeah, and that's where your recovery nutrition, it becomes really important. So it's so crucial that you get something in, particularly after a really hard session. So if you got your heart rate up to the point where you're panting or gasping, or working really, really hard, or if you've gone for longer than 2 hours for any kind of training, then it's so important that you get some food in. You need some protein, you need some fat, and you need some carbohydrates, because it's been shown that the protein gets absorbed better if you've got carbohydrates with it, and it means that you're stocking up your glycogen levels in your muscles so that you can train again. And particularly with triathlon, when we're training like 2 times a day, you totally need to stock that up again, or else what?
3 or 4.
Or 3 or 4. But you totally need to stock that up again so that you can perform again and get the most out of your training. Otherwise, you're gonna feel rubbish, and your training's not gonna have the effects that your coach intended it to have.
And this is very important in females, but it's also as important in males as well.
Yeah, so traditionally it was kind of known as the female athlete triad, and that stress fractures are more common in females, and that's partly to do with the estrogen levels, which aren't quite so good at maintaining good bone as testosterone. But we've actually seen that it's just as prevalent in males. It's a different sort of changes that we see, but you're still going to end up on that injury cycle. You're still going to end up with hormone changes. You're still going to end up with things that are going to affect your performance and may affect your health in the long term as well if it is carried on for too long.
We don't want that. Well, I'll let you go a little bit over time, but I think it was worth it. There was some very interesting stuff. So as you know, Anna's a coach for Foot Traffic. She clearly knows her stuff, knows what she's talking about. Top level athlete as well. So if you're interested in Anna's coaching services, or of any of our other coaching services within Foot Traffic, or our subscription membership, then please get in touch with us, and hopefully we'll have some more interesting videos coming for you in the next wee while. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know, and we'll chuck something up for you to digest. Like that. Yeah. Anyway, cheers.